I have a condition called Hydratitis Supertiva, or HS, which has been diagnosed with a dermatologist. Currently I'm on Accutane, which helps control it. Second issue, end of the year, I cut my finger, which developed into an infection. I've been in the hospital on IV drips for 3 days for this. 2 weeks later, I had a letter testing positive for MRSA. Even though I've been treated for MRSA, I've still been getting recurring painful boils around my body in random places. Last week, the same finger was inflamed with a boil again. Please advise on a protocol which you think for what you think I have and what I can do. Yeah, so the basic protocol that I recommend to everyone is the Qenda Ultimate Fibre, just because it works on so many different processes. It works on skin, respiratory system, reproductive system, obviously helps maintain healthy bowels and bowel function. Like, it works on a lot of parts of the body, so that's why I have it as the basics for people, because when you have the Qenda Ultimate Fibre and you're dealing with all that, once you've done the cleanse on the Qenda, you see if you've got any symptoms left, and it's very, very likely that it would have got everything moved out the way and got all the toxins out your body. When your body makes boils or ulcerations, if you think about it, the boil or the ulceration's actually containing the toxicity within inside it. So if you have too much toxicities in the body, your body will make ulcerations or boils or cysts, because it's holding on to all the toxicities and keeping it in one place so it doesn't negatively affect like vital organs and the rest of your body. So yeah, and like you said, you was on IV drips for 3 days, which was very likely antibiotic drips. So you probably had the antibiotics, which we all know go in there. It kills off the good guys as well as the bad guys. So antibiotics can make you feel better in the short term, but long term, if you don't reintroduce the right probiotics, the bad guys can flourish, which is what everybody's starting to realise about antibiotics now. They're not just something that you want to be recommending just for everything. So yeah, with that going on, obviously any sort of skin condition, anything that's happening on the skin is a window of what's going on the inside of your intestines. So if you've got issues on the skin and like boils and inflammation, obviously it all starts in the gut, because that's your barrier from like what you eat and what's happening on the outside to what's going on the inside. So like I always say, if you've got leaky gut, you'll end up with inflammation all over your body. And if you've got stuff in your blood that you shouldn't have, toxicity is flowing around, because once you have leaky gut, you have the gaps in between the intestinal lining. Once you have these gaps, undigested food particles, undigested waste and toxins can pass through into the blood. When that happens, your immune system creates an inflammatory response, so then you have inflamed blood circulating around in your body, creating inflammation all over. And obviously when these toxins get through into the blood, they've got to come out in the skin, because it's an elimination pathway. The benefit of having the Qenda is it goes in there, you have it on an empty stomach, so it can absorb through the intestinal lining, get into the blood, work its magic, cleanse the liver, kidneys, gallbladder, all that stuff, whilst getting the bowels flowing. So you can help take a lot of the toxins out into the toilet rather than them coming out in your skin. I have seen people when they're taking the Qenda get like some pimples on the skin. I know I had this, so I got some little itchy pimples, and that's just the toxins coming out. But like you said, with having a recurring injury like that, or a recurring problem, obviously being diagnosed with your dermatologist, I've personally had dermatologists as clients, and they was like, why don't they teach you about leaky gut and parasites and infections that's creating your issues on your skin? Because I had a client, she said she had like a 40 grand machine, or like maybe two 40 grand machines that were specifically like lasers for the skin and stuff, and she was blown away when she had the Qenda and saw how much better her skin could be. And she was like, everything, she was a nutritionalist and had a skin clinic. And yeah, so basically Qenda's great for the skin. Anything that's happening on the skin is a window of what's going on the inside. And because Qenda's dealing with the whole body, do that protocol and see if you have any symptoms afterwards, because I'd be very surprised if you do.